Hey y'all, I'm back with a quick hitter, man. This is a quick hitter. I've got the opportunity that's rare to try something that doesn't happen very often, okay? Inside of here, it's not Shell Rotella oil. It's actually full of Hot Shot Secrets everyday treatment, all right? It's the stuff I've used for the last several years for my fuel mileage, right? As a little cetane booster to basically, in a nutshell, turn my diesel from regular diesel to premium diesel, all right? There's all kinds of different diesel supplements out there, different costs, different deals. The reason I've used Hot Shots for so long is because their EDT has an awesome treatment ratio. Like some products, like Lucas Oil's diesel treatment, you gotta use like an entire gallon jug between your two tanks every time you fill up. Way too much product to carry around. Hot Shot Secret, it's like, you know, whatever it is, 6 ounces per side per fill up. I have it down on my little cup that I use to measure it in. But that's why I like it, and it's proven, in my mind, to be effective. A lot of people online say, no, it's no good, it's not worth the trouble. But most of those people that don't like it are pickup owners. We're gonna put more miles on this truck in the next 4 days than those guys do in 2 or 3 months. So this is gonna be a great little head-to-head test. So I've got Hot Shot Secrets EDT. I'm loading cattle right now. I'm actually loaded. I'm gonna top off my tanks. I'm going down to Utah. I'm coming back to the same town to reload and go back down again later this week. I'm gonna be running through the night both times. I think conditions are gonna be probably pretty similar. You never know, the variables are a little different. I have a huge load on right now. I think I'll have a pretty good load on here in a couple days. Might be a few thousand pounds lighter, but this is as best as we're gonna get, you know, with just everyday, actual, real, you know, scenario situation. The other product that I have, I'm spreading my wings a little bit, just because, right? I love Schaeffer's oil, been using it for a long time because of their oil analysis. Say what you want, I like it, you may not, I do, I use it like crazy. Used hundreds of gallons of it here over the last few years between all the semis. I'm gonna use Schaeffer's summertime diesel treatment, all right? It has a similar treatment ratio to Hot Shot Secret, okay? You have to use a little bit more of the Schaeffer stuff than you do the Hot Shots. But I think it's what did I do the numbers? It was 1 or 2 cents more per gallon to treat your diesel, all right? I think Hot Shot Secret was like, I think I figured it's roughly 5 cents a gallon to treat your diesel is what it costs by the time you put it in your tank. I think this stuff's about 6. Anyway, we're gonna go head to head. I'm on the tail end of my Hot Shot Secret. I'm gonna use it on the way down to Utah. We'll use it on the way back up. I'll be about out of fuel by the time I get back up here. When I refill, we're gonna give her the big Schaeffer's treatment, and let's see where we end up. Okay, y'all, well, last night went good. It was a pretty smooth run. We weighed 105,250 pounds. We rocked it all the way down to Utah, got unloaded, came about 150 miles empty, back up here to Idaho Falls. I'm gonna start treating with Schaeffer's now. That way, by the time I get loaded tomorrow and circled back around to that original truck stop where I was at last night, I'll have a full tank of Schaeffer's I can top off there and get the exact run. It'll be a night run again. Should be very similar conditions. Let's get this Schaeffer's in. It's funny how similar it smells to EDT. These treatments all seem to smell the same, which is very strong. All right, there she is, the old Schaeffer's Premium. We're here to fuel. So crazy thing, you guys, crazy thing. You couldn't have planned this better if we tried. This load that I put on is within 40 pounds of the load we hauled last time, okay? 40 pounds. The only difference today is that it's a little cooler. When I left here the other night, it was about 80 degrees. Right now, it's about 65. So a little bit cooler. Shouldn't change a lot. The wind has died down. 67,140 pounds is what this load net weighs. That's my net weight. My gross weight is 105,200. The last load the other day that we did, it was 67,180. I looked it up before I got out, 180. So we're within 40 pounds. I mean, they're virtually identical loads. I have just a little bit less weight in the nose of my truck than I did on the last one. The cattle are just a tiny bit smaller in this front compartment. Shouldn't change anything. Let's put these Schaeffers in. Let's truck it through the night. So we're gonna go down again. Basically what I did here, just so you know, went from Great Falls, Montana, down to Hiram, Utah, back up empty to Idaho Falls, and then I topped off my tanks there. So I'm gonna do the same thing tonight. By tomorrow afternoon, I'll be hitting you back with the results, you guys. Stay tuned, you're gonna wanna see this. I'm dying to know. Well, you guys, the moment is here. We've rolled into Idaho Falls. I honestly cannot remember where my fuel gauge was yesterday or 2 days ago when I topped off here. I feel like it was a little lower than it is right now, but I really don't know. To give you some reference, I'm just a sliver under half of a tank. Last fill up, I put in 121 gallons, all right? That's what we put with the Hot Shot Secret. Let's go see what it's gonna take to top this thing off running the Schaeffers. Well, right there, 119. Now hold on. At first glance here, 119, you're like, okay, it's 2 gallons difference. It's a virtual tie. But I need to actually check my odometer miles because I did go to the washout and had to wash out. Plus, I took a little different route to get from the kill plant out to skirt around of a bunch of construction. So I think I have some extra miles on here. Let me actually work up the MPGs and we'll see what the difference is. Okay, let's walk through it right here, you guys. We've got, this was my first trip, 656 miles from where I loaded, came down, unloaded, drove empty back, 100 and whatever miles it is from Logan, Utah to Idaho Falls, Idaho. If you're doing the math at home, I had to add 3% because my speedometer is off and is actually shorting me a few miles. I'm actually going further than what it says by 3%. I'll change that when I get my new ECM put on. This second trip, 661 miles, like I said, 6 miles of extra driving for going to the washout and taking the country loop with the EDT at 105,000, 5.42 with the Schaeffer's summer treat, 105,000 pound gross, 5.55. These numbers that I just showed you are 90% loaded miles, okay? I have very few empty miles, and the empty miles I do have, you got to climb over Malad Hill or Summit or whatever you want to call it, Malad Mountain, so you're not getting great empty mileage this first little leg of the journey anyway. So if you're wondering about any discrepancies when you hear me talk about this truck averaging 6, whatever, and you remember this little thing we did here where I'm showing you 5.42 with the EDT from Hot Shot Secret and the 5.55 using the Schaeffer's summertime diesel treatment. Keep that in mind, okay? So real quick, I'm gonna go in and get my fuel receipts and get settled in and get back on the road and knock out the rest of this journey. So what do we take from this, you guys? This is as close as I can possibly ever get to a scientific, real world, head-to-head fuel mileage contest. Is it perfect? No. Is it really close? Yes. What are some little varying factors? This morning, like my last 60 miles in, coming down through southern Idaho into Utah, I had a pretty decent little tailwind for a little spit there. That can nudge you a little bit. I don't know how much. On the flip side of that, my first round, when I was empty coming up from Utah to Idaho Falls, I had a really nasty crosswind. So that was knocking that mileage back probably just a hair. It's 0.1 mpgs on an extremely unscientific, lots of variables. It's like I say, it's as close as I'm ever going to get to show you this. Does it mean that like you abandon Hot Shot Secret and you just march over to Schaeffer's and go? I don't know. That's kind of for you to decide. I do love Schaeffer's oil. I use all their oil products. So will I maybe be looking at streamlining my ordering and just ordering my fuel treatment, you know, through Schaeffer's to just consolidate and streamline my deal? Perhaps. Do I still think that Hot Shot Secret, hands down, no questions, bar none, has the most effective and strong and powerful injector cleaner? I believe they call it Diesel Extreme. Yes, 100%. I've seen that stuff just perform miracles before my eyes. I've got to see the miracles. I'm all in on that stuff. Don't use it a ton, right? You only need to use it annually, more or less. Absolutely love that product. Here's the thing. Don't ever get just stuck on one thing, all right? Always be open-minded. Always be willing to look towards new things, try new things. That's what I did with this Schaeffer. I do like this. I really like my Schaeffer's rep. Treats me very well, always right on top of things, and is always looking out for me. I like that personability factor. Plus, you know, as I mentioned before, the oil analysis profiles that you can build for your machines, right? And a lot of people say, well, that's kind of shady because it's in-house, you know, Schaeffer's does their own stuff in-house. Yeah, they do, but at the same time, their recommendation almost always is you don't need to change your oil this often. Like, you should go another 5,000 miles and you know, resample. I'm to the point where I go as far as I'm comfortable with, and I change it, and they continually still say, hey, scientifically, your oil's still in plenty good enough shape to do its job. But they always say, go with your comfort level. So I pick my intervals and go with it. But you guys, I hope you had some enjoyment out of that. If you're out there trucking, I don't know, give it a try, see what you see. I think that maybe Schaeffer's has a little bit more of a cetane boost. That's just me spitballing from things I feel like maybe that I've read. But go try some out, see what you think. Let me know what your experience has been. One of my other main factors, you guys, I mentioned it early on in the video, is I need something that has low treatment quantities. I don't want to pack around 6-gallon jugs under my sleeper all the time. I want a gallon jug that will last me for many, 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 many trips on the road, okay? That's what I shoot for. You guys, I'm out. Be good.